Some of my older subscribers may remember when I used to just go on places like Imager and other normie shitlib cesspools of the internet to talk shit at liberals there and just be baffled at how retarded those people were. Well, I've since moved on to greener pastures. I've leveled up to the retard normie world of 9gag. Now, 9gag, I know, is a terrible place to look for memes or anything funny or anything even remotely interesting. It's basically the garbage refuse that's recycled off of 6-month-old Facebook posts and Instagram garbage and TikTok shit. I know, but I don't go there for the posts. I go there for the comment section because I get to expand and globalize. I get to be like Pitbull and go Mr. Worldwide because I see a lot of European lefties there. And holy shit are they dumb. But also a lot of American lefties. And one of my favorite things is how much they talk about Trump. Like he's bad, which he isn't. And how much they talk about Americans. See, to my American audience, you need to know that the European lefties think that we are wall-to-wall school shootings, fat people, cops who basically hunt through the ghettos like safari people shooting elephants and shit. Like it's big game hunting. And they like to pretend like we have some sort of fascist government that didn't vote for Donald Trump. Or Donald Trump's not really the president. Now, the American liberals also love to tout something they find really important that isn't the least bit important at all. And that is that Hillary Clinton got 1.5 million more votes than Trump. That's true. Now, is it at all relevant to why Trump is president? No, it isn't. And all you got to do is think about who voted for Hillary Clinton, and an even better question, where voted for Hillary Clinton. I have a factoid in front of me, just this little piece of paper, and all it's printed on it is 2,626 to 487. That is the differential district by district in the nation. Our nation of about 320 million people, about 3.2 million square miles, or it might be 3.1, and 50 states, which is another thing that Europe likes to try to compare us as one country to any one of their countries, forgetting that we're essentially Europe only with 50 countries in it. And they basically, I just always tell them, would you like me to compare you to Greece? Would you like me to compare you to northern France or Turkey, or I forget if Turkey is even in the EU, but you just take any given shithole. Would you like me to compare you all to the UK, since you all like to make fun of Brexiteers so fucking much? Would you like me to compare you to the UK, which, even though I'm very pro-Brexit, I must admit, dear God, Aster, stop shaking your fucking, yeah, that's the ringing noise. He's got a bell on his collar. Even though I'm very pro-Brexit, the fact of the matter is that the United Kingdom is a fascist clown country. It is quite possibly the biggest shithole in all of Europe politically and legally and quality of life, and especially in the freedom of its citizens. So I can understand wanting to make fun of them, but the second I try to tell any one of these Eurofags who, believe me, will never admit what country they're from unless they live in Switzerland, They won't talk about where they're from, and they won't talk about what their rights are. They'll only talk about propaganda. But the thing is, 2,626 districts voted for Donald Trump, while only 487 districts voted for Hillary Clinton. And the other thing is, Trump won 30 states, and he won in an electoral landslide. Now, I'm going to show you this little map. We're going to go into Ethan Van Sciver vision, which is why I wore my Star Wars shirt. I want to see if you can see this clearly. I know it's very shitty. We got a map right here. Red is for Trump. And then Snopes, this is courtesy of Snopes.com, gave us this little deformed freak map. Believe me, that's not, you don't need to adjust your screen. It's not the quality of my iPhone camera. Ladies and gentlemen, that is just a consequence of the deliberate shape of that map. That deformed monstrosity you just saw was the red and blue, the blue being for Hillary Clinton, adjusted for population centers. A population density, I should say specifically. But that's the rub, ladies and gentlemen. The fact of the matter is, New York voted for Hillary, parts of Montana, Chicago, definitely, all of South Central and Far Western California, The areas around Austin, Texas, and I guess Aztec, New Mexico, and southern Colorado, where a bunch of hippies live, and just about nowhere else. You got Albuquerque, the super Mexican part of Arizona, all of California, super Mexican again, basically New York City, and Miami. Miami definitely is blue. And then you look at that blown up map and you see that the entirety of a very, very red Northeast has been replaced by a blue deformed monstrosity that basically is just New Hampshire and New York City in particular. And that gigantic freakish blob of blue on the far left side of the map is basically Arizona and California. And nowhere fucking else voted for this bitch. Now, if you would like to live in a tyranny where only Chicago, LA, Denver, Albuquerque, Miami, and New York City gets to decide fucking anything, and if you live anywhere else in America, you are fucked and your opinion does not matter. If you'd like to live in that kind of fascist tyranny where an aristocracy of only the large metropolitan cities have any fucking say on federal law, doesn't sound very liberal to me. But of course, we've long since lost the entire of liberal America. Basically, anyone who was liberal 20 years ago votes conservative, because what is there left to conserve but actual liberty? Because progressivism, ladies and gentlemen, is authoritarian fascism. They are trying to get illegal aliens to vote, people who are not citizens, because actual citizens don't vote for them. You know, a lot of, in closing, remember I started by saying how much Eurofags try to make fun of us Americans. They say that we're all gun-loving honkies and shit. They say that our gun crime is horrific. We have less gun crime than Switzerland if you remove two factors. One, what accounts for 33%, and now keep in mind they keep saying gun crime when they just mean gun fatalities, because they weight that murder, bunny ears murder statistic that is a lie with suicides by gun, because it in fact is a very reliable, efficient, easy, and not so scary way to kill oneself by shooting oneself in the head with a gun. And in fact, the school shootings, quote-unquote bunny ears again, statistic is also fucking heavily weighted by people who commit suicide via gun in schools. I'm sorry, it's not a school shooting if it's somebody who just commits suicide in the gym locker room with a pistol they brought to school. Okay, whenever anybody hears school shooting, they don't think about somebody committing suicide. They don't even think about some jilted lover killing the fucking Stacy who wouldn't take him to prom or some shit. They're thinking of fucking Eric Harris and Darren Klebold running around with machine guns killing scores of kids. That doesn't happen that much. In fact, I've even seen statistics that counted, I swear to God, I looked up one, and one of the counts of school shooting was a fucking police officer giving a gun safety demonstration in a classroom and accidentally discharged his firearm and shot himself in the fucking leg. That's not a school shooting. That's a retard being a retard and harming himself by accident. So, when you look at that fucking map, what you're seeing is Snopes literally having to deform the boundaries of the United States to try to look like a greater surface area of the country voted. But no, this was what, one more time, we're going to look at this map, one more time. What you're seeing here, the top one, that is the actual areas that voted for Trump. This is the amount of people who voted for Hillary Clinton trying to deform a number of people into an area of size. Now look at that freakish malformed country. That's because we're not talking about places. We're not talking about where, we're talking about who. And as far as the gun crime thing is, it's not also just suicides. I should have to, bounce around topic to topic. But finally, the thing is, we would also look as nice and as non-violent as Switzerland. Sorry to say, not to have to pull an alt-right on you, but the overwhelming majority of violent homicides are caused by black street gangs in places like, what places? Where's all this shooting crime happening? Los Angeles, Chicago, major metropolitan areas in Arizona, and New York City, and Miami. How funny is it that all these Democrat-run major metropolitan areas are also the areas where all the violent crime is happening? Oh, wait, there's another one I forgot. Washington, D.C. Baltimore. Yeah, that's blue on this map. I wonder why all the big shitholes that vote for Democrats are such shitholes. Could it be that they're going like, oh, all that violent crime and shit, you can't really blame it on their race. Well, what are you blaming it on? Well, they're all poor. They're all poor, you say? And you think the government is supposed to lift people out of poverty. Okay. Who's run Detroit for 35 years? The Democrats. Who's run Los Angeles for even longer? Who's running New York? Who's running Miami? Holy shit. And I think enough of the country is aware of what a fucking circus clown freak show the Democrat Party is, that they're literally having, in Florida, technically a libertarian should be for this law, but it speaks to the desperation of the party that we had to pass a measure to give violent felons back the franchise, which our state hasn't let violent felons have the right to vote for quite a long time. They had to reverse that so they could hope that some of these violent felons would vote Democrat. California has got a rampant problem with allowing illegal aliens to vote, and they want to have it legally on paper that the legal aliens just get to vote like they're American citizens. Really, nigga? What the fuck? Now, I gotta admit, I fancy myself a smart fella, even though I just mispronounced the word myself. I fancy myself a smart fella, but I didn't really think that much about politics, and I didn't know that much about politics until around the 2016 election when I started reading and learning, and I went to the right really fucking fast the more I learned. I went from fucking progressive to going, oh, I'm not actually a progressive. If that freak is what a progressive is, I'm not a progressive. To I'm just a liberal, to I'm just a centrist. Okay, I'm a moderate libertarian conservative, kind of, depending on what you think I'm conserving. I'm definitely not a religious conservative. I'm definitely not a... I don't know what else you'd call it. I guess I'm like a constitutionalist libertarian. I don't know if there's a specific term. I haven't looked into fucking fancy labels because I don't put that much stock in labels. I just know what's true and what isn't. Okay, but the fact of the matter is, like, I could even make another video, although this one's too long, but like all the people are saying we need universal health care. Do you know what that would cost for this country? They're like, oh, look, Denmark did it. What's the population of Denmark? What's the tax rate for Denmark? Okay. What's the population of the United States? What's the tax rate for the United States? Answer me those two questions and come back and tell me that I need to have my government, who, by the way, you and I both constantly make fun of as the inept fucking retarded homunculus that it is, and you tell me they can handle that shit better than private industry. Ha ha ha! Fuck no they can't. Get the fuck out of here.